Ja Rule said it ain't 50 rappers better than him. Oh, he was very disappointed with that.
Well, it's good that everybody who wasn't on that list feels. But honestly, look, somebody called us delusional because we had
we have
Black Thought.
I mean, we have 156 rappers ahead of him on our list. So
yeah. Oh yeah, he didn't make the list, did he?
I don't think so.
Ice Cube destroyed the list. Missy Elliott was honored, and
they were upset at our list. I'm telling you, I'm not sure if you saw the comments or somebody reposted it.
Yeah.
A lot of people did.
And said where we were wrong.
Yeah.
So I mean,
I'm talking about very upset though. Lone and I were in actually in the same comment section for the Homie Brown. Shout out to Homie Brown from Chicago who reshared our list. He shared it twice because people didn't read the first time, so he had to reshare it again and say read the criteria because ours is clearly different from the Billboard conversation, and people still didn't get it. And everybody was an expert in the comments.
The thing about our list though is like we were talking about before, we all have different top 10s and top 20s that don't mirror how that list turned out.
Yep.
Based on criteria and everybody's input. That's what made that list, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So you have to realize, and like you kept saying, you have to look at the criteria and understand how this happened. But you can't tell me that anybody on that top 20 are not elite artists or lyricists.
Yeah. I mean, at least we had criteria.
Right.
And that's what I was telling people in the comments. I'm saying you won't see any foolishness in our top, I don't know, 15 or 20. I thought everybody that we had on there was credible, and it also was just based off the formula that we use.
And they're separated by like tenths of a point.
Right. Yeah. On top of all of that. Yeah.
It's not like, we had Ice Cube and then Freedom Williams from CNC Music Factory on there. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. And I mean,
nothing against Freedom Williams.
Shout out to Freedom Williams.
There's somebody who's like, Freedom Williams is a lot better than you think. Okay, man, whatever.
They typing right now if they're watching.
The Freedom Williams hive.
Let me pull this up real quick.
He's like, did you listen to the second verse? I'm going to make you sweat. I was like, all right, calm down.
Yeah.
So there it is right there, man. There it is. I think it's represented pretty well.
Represented well.
Now, but
granted, I can see some other people on there.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, this is a 4-year-old list.
And we talked about amongst ourselves, there's certain things that we may have, looked over here or looked over there. Certain people may be a little low. We excluded certain people that maybe perhaps should have been on the list, or, it's not perfect. We didn't set out for it to be perfect. But it's credible in terms of how we got to. That's what I was trying to vouch for. Is it's credible how we got to what we got to. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, that's all.
It's credible,
and it's super small on the screen. But I mean, even from there's only 0.02 difference between Royce, from Ghostface to KRS is 0.02. Then from KRS to Kool G Rap is 0.02, and then to Tupac is 0.02. So it's all of those, I think there's 10 rappers within 0.1 of a decimal point.
So 1 through 7 all have 8s.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And I think 7s even go all the way down to in the 60s.
Mm-hmm.
But as I look at the list now, and I'm looking at it, everybody that is on here is beyond credible and deserving of, or skill wise and based off all the criteria that we use. I don't see anything that's an outlier where I'm like, man, I can't believe these people are up here. Now,
but there are people who are not familiar with Fonte. There may not be.
That's the one outlier Royce I saw.
Royce the 5'9".
Well, they think Eminem should be in Royce's place because of Royce's praise for Eminem.
And I've seen people say that Royce is in the right place because they say that he influenced Eminem.
Yep.
So I mean,
I shared it on Facebook, and then for some reason, and I was telling you guys, it got over 70 shares.
Yeah.
So it's out there. I mean, one of my students yesterday literally told me that he saw the list, saw the graphic that I made, and I was like, "Oh, really?" He was like, "Yeah, it was in some channel." I was like, "Oh."
Yeah, it popped up in the hip hop group.
It actually goes. The graphic to me it helps it because the graphic is so crispy. It's got the points. It's got the it's a number system. And
that's why I put the numbers on there so people would see how close it was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it didn't.
And then there's nobody on this list where once I saw Billboard's list, I'm like, okay, Nicki Minaj is 10. I'm like,
yeah, there we go.
I fool with Nicki, but I don't know about 10, fam. Hope the Hive don't come get me.
I know, but would you put Nicki ahead of any of these people on this list?
No.
Personally, no.
I hope not.
Yeah, when they had her top 10,
but I'm not a Nicki fan like that though. So,
but I'm not a Nicki hater.
I'm not a Nicki hater. But as far
these
as
are certifiably legendary artists who put out more than one legendary product.
Yeah,
everybody in this picture is a top tier. This is top tier hip hop artists right here. All of them. You know,
I've seen somebody say that Black Thought couldn't be number one.
Why?
Because he's not influential enough, and Andre 3000 couldn't be number two
because he's in a group.
Because he's not consistent enough.
What?
Yeah.
Compared to whom?
I don't know.
I think they're talking about amount of product.
Yeah.
I think that's where
it's hard for people to put someone in a group and give them a top tier.
But to Lone's point though, the what is from when has he not been consistent whenever he jump on a feature, he body everything.
Whenever he's done the records he's done with Outkast, when has you been like, Drake could have done better there?
That's my point.
No, to me, he's one of the most consistent artists, rappers, MCs ever.
He's cold.
You know,
I was surprised too. A lot of people were saying he was in the comment section that I saw when I engaged for a little bit because they got me. A lot of people were surprised. I mean, I saw a lot of comments saying, "Man, 3 stacks is too high. 3 stacks is too high. 3 stacks is too high." And I'm like,
of all people in that top row,
that's the one you chose to say is too high. Is 3 stacks? I mean, I ain't even if you like, man. Okay, I think 3 stacks is like top 10 or top 5. That's cool, but they were saying it like it's blasphemous that he's up there in that area. I'm like, nah, I disagree with that. My personal opinion.
The only thing where I'm looking up there and I think, but I'm not sure whose spot I would give it to is I'm like, I feel like Ice Cube should be in there.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about.
We were talking about that too.
There's 2 names that we were talking. Who else we talking about?
Ice Cube and Lil Wayne.
And Wayne.
Yeah,
okay. Yeah. We played Wayne.
Wayne is exception. Like Wayne's rated like 96 or something. Like,
we definitely played Wayne.
He definitely should be higher than that.
Yeah, so. I can admit that we played Wayne.
But Cube's like 22nd. So it's not even like he's super low.
Yeah, so he's just right outside of the.
Yeah,
you know.
I think it's like 7.54 is what Cube got ranked. So
and Busta's at what 7.64.
Yeah,
and you can't say that this is biased by region.
Nope.
You know, because
somebody tried to tell me that
Philadelphia, Atlanta, Brooklyn, Queens, Compton, Chicago. You know what I'm saying? Like Houston,
yeah,
Detroit.
Yep.
They said there weren't
North Carolina.
Yeah. Somebody added me and said that we don't like the West Coast.
Yep, let's see. Kendrick, Tupac. But yeah, we definitely don't like the West
Tupac
Coast.
and Kendrick are the only West Coast artists on there, so I get that. But
pretty great, too. I mean, we picked 2 of the greats out the West Coast.
Yeah.
But if you look at the rest of the list, I'm sure there's some more, West Coast artists throughout the rest of the list.
Absolutely more West Coast.
You know what I'm saying? So,
it's just once again, every time you see a list sometimes you just wonder, okay, who was in the room? And who are we to say these things? But at least we said, okay, we're going to have a system. We're going to be transparent. We're just not going to pick somebody because they have a couple of nice headshots or they did us a favor. Nice headshots. Like we are not industry. Like, once again, there's just some names up on those other lists. You're like, you don't really believe this, and you don't really even listen to the music.
Well, shout out to Black Thought, man. Shout out to our list. Shout out to our system. Shout out to our criteria.
Shout out to everybody who had something to say.
Shout out to the comments.
Keep sharing.
Shout out to the professionals that told us we wrong.
And check out the criteria before you jump out the window.
That's all we ask. Just read it before you jump in.
Because at least we gave you some criteria as opposed to just putting a list together and saying, here you
go.
What?
You know what I'd like to hear? I like the comments that I saw in the comment section that said, "Oh, I rock with this, but maybe I would have done this different, or maybe I would have,
cool.
You know what I'm saying? Or I like this part, but I probably would have tweaked this." All right, cool. Like I can respect that. That's constructive criticism. Like y'all dropped the ball here, but I do like this. All right, I'm not mad at that.
I mean, because we definitely did drop the ball a couple times.
Yeah,
and look, we put these things out there so people can comment and discuss.
That's the whole point.
We're not just like, how dare you question us?
Yeah, it's not about.
Yeah, this is not an end all be all list. And this was done 4 years ago.
It's 2019, man.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Was it that long ago?
Yeah.
Dang, man. Now we doing a producer when it's gonna take 4 years. We gotta do that. I forgot. We gotta knock some of those out today.